LaChapelle, and I want to talk about my latest piece called Swan Lake. It's a quartz crystal swan, and it's made up of a variety of colors of quartz. There's a smoky quartz for the feet of the swan, there's a citrine quartz in the beak, and there's also a smoky quartz for the base of the beak as well. The eyes are made up of agate, and black jade is the pupil for the eye itself. And the bird is made up of actually two crystals. One complete crystal is the body size and shape, and the other single crystal was made for the wing, whereas the wings were made from it, and the crystal was cut in half for the two wings. So we got a perfect color match, and it's very, very clean material. There's no inclusions or cracking or anything of the sort in there. So along with that, I have a tiger eye reed or base to hold the piece together, and it's pinned. The bird is actually pinned and glued to this, so that gives it that structural support and gives the illusion of the flight for the bird, the swan itself. So along with that, there's a labradorite base that's the pond scene or lake scene of the sculpture with the signets of the baby swans there. So that's all set in quartz crystal, and I have smoky quartz for the eyes in there. So the whole piece, the wingspan is 17 inches on this bird. So this is by far the largest quartz crystal bird I've ever made. So I found it to be particularly challenging because of its size. Although I was particularly careful with how it was, I wanted to maximize the size of each wing so I could have the proportions of the bird the way I wanted it. So one small little chip on one meant that it had to be reduced on the other, so that at some point while working it, that can happen where you can lose little bits here and there and eventually reduce the size of the piece. But that didn't happen through this piece, so I'm very thankful that everything worked out really well throughout the process of the carving. And the piece is detailed and textured, so we have like a beautiful surface here with the texture that gives a surface to the quartz, but it also allows it to be translucent, which is really the beauty of quartz. So you can not only have this surface that's lovely and textured, but you also have the translucency of it that I think is, the true feature of this piece is that beauty that the quartz adds to this idea of the swan. So this lovely translucency that comes through it is it's always changing, always telling a story. So in this case, for me, I felt like whenever I see swans, I used to live on Vancouver Island, by the way, and the swans would come to come to migrate to Vancouver Island in an area that I lived at, and they take over the ponds and they take over the lakes in the area, and I'd often go out to see them. They're so delicate, so beautiful, so graceful, and watch them fly overhead. And so that really brought on this idea of the ballerina. They could be so delicate and so free in their movement. It's like a dancer to me. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to see this piece upright and have all the action that the bird could do in a way that might resemble a dancer with the feet up and the different movements. So the story is that the bird can reflect the idea of a dancing person. Emotionally can be that way, but also the bird is protective of its young too. So I think that's really a great part of the story, that the bird is, the mother swan is guiding its young and protecting them. So there you have it. It's for Brooks and Linda. I hope you enjoy this piece for a really long time.